Washington, D.C. is safe. Now we're going to Memphis, where it's pretty rough, to put it mildly. And then we're going to have to go. A friend of mine who is a big railroader, he stops in all the cities. He knows every city. He said, sir, you have to save Chicago.
You're about to hear an enormous amount of controversy over President Trump deploying the National Guard to Memphis, Tennessee. And he's threatening to do the same thing in Chicago. You already saw the outrage over the National Guard here in Washington. Turns out a Democratic governor deployed the National Guard to her biggest city months ago, and you probably never heard about it. No controversy. Not Kathy Hochul in New York, but Michelle Lujan Grisham in New Mexico. We sent senior national correspondent Brian Enton to investigate why a Democratic governor would send out the National Guard when the National Guard does or doesn't work. Brian?
Yeah, look, I mean, so many of the Democratic governors have resisted the National Guard and have just said that there's also not a crime problem, that the stats are wrong. And what's so interesting is in New Mexico, the governor has literally said and done the opposite. She says there is a crime problem. In fact, she even told me she doesn't feel safe right now. She declared a state of emergency in New Mexico, and she dispatched the National Guard to Albuquerque with really actually amazing results. Listen to what she told me. You sort of have this reputation as being the tough on crime Democrat these days.
Well, I'm not looking for a reputation. I'm looking to solve a problem. Until every New Mexican meets their constitutional rights square in the face to feel safe in their church and home and grocery store, I think you should lean in to public safety.
You brought the National Guard into Albuquerque, I think it was April, and from the stats that I've seen, crime is down pretty dramatically, I think 40%. So it seems to be working.
It is. We've seen a 22%, I'll do it the other way, increase in felony arrests and a 30% increase in misdemeanor arrests. These are good operations. Democrats ought to lean in to make sure that everyone in their states and communities feels and is safe.
And you sat down here by starting and saying that you declared a public safety emergency, talking about the problems. It just seems like other Democrats try to say it's not a problem.
Well, I think we're in a really terrible environment in this country. Well, it has to be all of one and none of the other, right? We're not going to talk about the risks that we have in our communities and states. We do have these risks. And I do agree with the majority of Democratic governors who have said, this is not strategic, this is not helpful. And frankly, if I were the president, how about if you give me some more FBI agents? And how about some more DEA officers or AFT? These are all the federal folks, U.S. Marshals. How about some more prosecutors?
It's interesting, Leland, she wants more. I mean, she wants the president to send all of those resources to New Mexico. At the same time, though, she doesn't agree with the way President Trump, she says, is pushing the National Guard on other states. And she's done things a little differently. They don't all wear uniforms. She's got them in black polos. They're not armed, but they do a ton of work. I mean, they're on all the buses. They're on transit. They're all over Albuquerque.
Wow, fascinating. And evidently the results speak for themselves. Brian, thank you very much. More on Brian's reporting on NewsNation throughout tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.